Are you ready to take action to attain the lifestyle of your dreams?
It's a great way to make a lot of money fast.
Hey, what's up, clever investors? We are back, and I'm excited for today's show because we got the man, the myth, the legend, the hardcore closer, Mr. Ryan Stewman in the studio. What's up, dude?
What's up, man? You know, I thought we were going to have a jingle.
The jingle played before the intro.
Okay, all right.
So just
I wanted
imagine
to hear the
a jingle.
All right.
It's more, you know,
I can hear it now. Cody's Berber. Yeah, I can feel it, you know.
And that was it.
Clever investor. All right.
Making money, building wealth,
Flipping houses.
pimping hoes.
Yeah.
No.
Marrying doctors.
I did marry a doctor. She stopped all my pimping.
Clearly, we're
hoes.
too good of friends because we just got really comfortable on the microphone in front of, you know, the whole 5 people that probably listen to us.
I don't have a very large following, but they're very dedicated. That's all that matters.
They're real fans.
They comment on everything. So look, dude. First off, excited to have this conversation. You're by far the funniest of the hardcore closers.
Oh, thank you.
Do you think you're outgrowing?
Take that belt.
Do you think you're outgrowing the hardcore closer nickname? Because I feel like you've blown up so much bigger over the last like 7 or 8 years. Like people are underestimating the shit that you're doing right now. And for anybody who doesn't know Ryan Stewman, very successful investor, very successful entrepreneur, probably one of the best closers in the game. Very, very, very good at sales, influence, persuasion. Runs the largest Facebook group for sales professionals on Facebook. Sales
Talk with Sales Pros.
How many members do you have on there?
110,000.
Damn. And you've been growing that for
Real
how long?
members. Actively engaged every month, like since 2014.
Dude, it's popping off in there.
Yeah.
If you're in sales and you're not part of that group, you need to join that group.
It's free.
And what I love about that group is it is a true community. They know each other.
Yep.
They engage.
We got our own language and everything, you know.
Yeah. And if you go against the rules in that group, oh man, I've seen it. It's vicious.
Yeah.
It's vicious. They
it's salespeople, we're good at roasting things. You know, that's just what we do.
Yeah. And you run Apex, which is a mastermind, right? What for anybody listening, what is Apex?
So it is a group of people committed to become the greatest version of themselves, in a nutshell. So it's people that are committed to showing up in their work, taking care of their bodies, working on their mindset and their relationships, right? And so that's what we do. We just help people become the best.
How many members do you have?
A little over 2,000, I believe. 2,000.
Jeez Louise. It's a good group. All right. So successful investor, entrepreneur, all the things, badass watch. By the way, show the bling real quick. What the hell are you blinging out
This
with?
is my speaker watch. You know, when you hold the microphone with this watch on stage, you get some attention.
They're not even listening to what you're saying. They're just staring at the watch. That's a nice watch. Car guy too. And what I love about what you do, and we're going to get into the background here in a second. What I love about what you do is you've gamified being fly.
Yeah.
You gamified being rich. And what
that is a great way of putting it.
And what I mean by that is literally everything is like you've hacked the system. You've hacked the matrix. Like the dude flies around on private jets all the time. I'm like, how the hell are you always flying private? And he's like, dude, I bring all my friends, my members, everybody piles in. We get the jet and I fly around on a jet for free and everybody wants to hang out with me. So it's a great way to get from point A to point B. You get great footage for everybody and you get a free jet ride.
Well, think about this. So we flew here, private jet. There was about 8 of us all together. Me, 2 employees, and 5 people, right? 5 people that paid for seats on the jet. Each of those people paid $6,500 to fly with us. They get VIP tickets to Kent's event here as a part of that. So, which were $1,000 or something like that. So they paid $6,500 for a seat. They're in the air for 6 hours with me. They get private jet pictures, videos, my guys editing everything while they're there on the jet. So they get off, they get all the cool social media, stuff like that. Then they get VIP passes to the event. I had breakfast with everybody this morning.
So they're getting the mentorship, they're getting the
they're
clout.
getting 2-3 days sometimes with me for $5,000-$6,000. Plus they're going on a jet that costs $100,000 to operate every time it's in the air that you could never fly on for $5,000. Like unless you knew somebody like me that has the ability to do this. Meanwhile, I pay about $5,000 for the three of us to fly every time, which is about what you would pay commercial. So I'm not out really any money because I fill in the other seats.
Hack the system.
And I could profit from it probably if I wanted to, but I'm really just trying to have a good time with cool people and not make it too much of a burden on anybody and, enjoy, like I said, hacking the system.
I love it. And for $99.99, you could get the private jet blueprint.
The private jet blueprint.
Right here. But you do that with cars.
That's fucking funny.
I know. You do that with cars. You like, we were talking on the way over here and you just bought this really sick white and black Lamborghini Huracan STO.
Yep.
Which is the race version of the Huracan. And it's sick as fuck. It's so amazing. And I'm like, dude, how do you like the car? You're like, I drove 40 miles in it and flipped it. I'm like, dude, how much you make? What'd you make?
Yeah, I made $105,000.
$105,000 flipping a car. When'd you order it? In 2020. And I just have like a pipeline of cars coming. I put down.
Yeah, I've got cars coming all the way till 2025.
Such a brilliant.
Yep.
And the exotic car blueprint is included as a upgraded bonus.
A bonus, yes. That's the Typically it's $997, but we're gonna give it to you for free.
Free. That's amazing.
I probably could make money selling that shit. I'm not into that. I would rather just tell people how to do it.
Dude, you do it with watches, you do it with cars, you do it with private jets. It's like the luxury blueprint. But how did we get here? Because you got a colorful background, man. Like you went through some shit, right?
Yeah.
Prison.
So
I think most of the best entrepreneurs have some shit.
So I heard Rob O'Neill one time say, when you've gone through some shit, you either learn to have a great sense of humor or you have to take anti-anxiety meds the rest of your life, right?
Yeah, yep.
And I got a good sense of humor, so that's worked out well for me. It's a choice that I guess you get to make. But, at 7, I was adopted. My dad left and my mom remarried and that guy adopted me and he was pretty much an asshole, abusive, very mean, unloving, made me work at a young age, like real work at the car wash. It's funny, the guy puts me to work at a car wash where people that are felons and illegal immigrants at the time and shit like that work, right? Because it's a car wash. And then he's like, how are you on? What the fuck are you doing with your life that you're on drugs and shit? I'm like, what the fuck? You just put me in the environment of people that are pro drugs like all the time. What do you expect? The coolest people I know are at the car wash now because that's where I'm at. And fuck, of course I'm on drugs. That's what they're on,
Wow.
So when I was 15, I left home, ran the streets, sold drugs, all the things that people with the colorful black background that I just said. And
very resourceful kid.
Did cocaine one time, sold it. You don't get high on your own supply. I had enough problem with marijuana. And so I smoked pot, sold blow. One night, a chick, this is really the test of me being the hardcore closer because this is like, you always look for like the Achilles heel in the story. This is it for me, right? So I go, friend of mine comes over to my house. He's like, hey man, let's call a fucking hooker over. He's doing blow and shit. And I'm like, dude, no, I'm good, He's like, man, like I already know this chick, man. I've called her and her friends over a couple times. Like, come on, man. It's like 2 a.m. I'm drunk and shit. I'm like, fuck it, Like, so we order up this fucking hooker to come over, and the hooker shows up right with her pimp outside. We go in the room. I never done this before. I mean, I fucked, but I never fucked for money. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't being paid the money, so I never had to pay it. But I'm like, whatever. Trying new shit here. Let's see, all-time low. Let's go. Fucking adopted, all this other shit anyway. How low can we go here? Anyway, so we get in the room. I'll never forget. She says, you have that. She sees Coke. She's like, oh, you got Coke. She goes and does line. She's like, I'll put this on your, she said something like, I'll put it on your blah, 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 some sexual shit. I'm like, that sounds great. So I did a line with her. First time I ever done it in my life. Went to unbutton my pants, because things were about to happen, but they didn't. I fucking overdosed. Somehow I'm allergic to Coke or some shit. I don't know. Fucking heart stop. This chick don't know me. She's just a hooker. She runs out of the room, calls 911. The fucking cops come. Obviously, I literally live fucking across the street from the fire station. The cops in the fire station come in, fucking arrest me. I'm fucking dead. You know what I mean? They like bring me back to life with some, I don't know. I don't know any of this. It's like the story they tell me in court later. You know what I mean? And so I wake up in the hospital, chained to the hotel or to the hospital bed. Cop comes in, reads me my rights. End up going to jail for like 3 weeks. And I bonded myself out. My grandma let me borrow the money to get out. And they wanted me to snitch on people and all this shit. And I was like, man, you don't know the motherfuckers I was messing with. Like, I'll take my chances against the cops before I take my chances against these guys. So they didn't show any mercy on me. First time offense, sent me to prison for 2 years. This is what they told me, Cody. Okay. They said, hey, man, my lawyer, public defender, motherfucker, right? Fuck that guy. This is what he says. 19-year-old kid. He says, hey, man, you're going to take this 2-year deal because that's the best deal they're going to give you. And you'll do 6 months here in the county and they'll let you out, right? Just sign the papers. It'll be the easiest time you ever did and we'll fucking go on with your life. I'm like, all right, you're a lawyer. You know what you're doing. That's the best deal I'm going to get. Fuck, I signed for it. Motherfucking 30 days later, I'm in like one of the hardest prisons in the United States of America. I did fucking like 23 out of 24 months. Dude,
you know how many people that has to happen to?
Oh, every fucking day.
That is awful.
Every fucking day. I'm one of the first people that's successful on the other side that has a voice to tell this about. But first of all, that judge should have never the system should have never thrown that dude at me. Like now that I'm rich, I could go back and beat that case. There's no fucking way that case would stick the way that they fucking presented it because I'm smarter than the cops, you know?
Yeah.
And I've been around long enough with experience, but as a 19-year-old kid, I don't fucking know. I signed my life away. I signed my right to bear arms away. I signed my fucking right to do all sorts of shit at that moment in time because I didn't fucking know any better, you know? So I go to prison. I discover really quickly that I didn't like that place, you know, like really fast. I get in there. It's like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that shit. I won't never fuck with drugs ever again. Y'all just let me out. My bad. Right, but that don't work. I think that works now. I think you just knock on the door. You're like, I got COVID, and they let you out. I think that's what's going on now. But prior to that, I didn't grow up in that generation. We had to do our fucking time, right? But anyway, so I go in there outside. I don't really like that much. And the things I did have going for me, I was in this place called Beto One. I was in 6 or 7 different prisons. So you can imagine being transferred around and going through that new fucking guy shit 6 or 7 times was a nightmare. But I was in this one place where, everybody was in a gang. If you're white, you had Nazi signs on you. If you were black, you were Blood or Crip. If you were Mexican, you were either Texas Syndicate or Mexican Mafia or Tongo Blast or something like this. Like no fucking free agents anywhere, right? I know. I only got 2 goddamn years in this bitch, not a life sentence like the rest of these fucking Peckerwoods with fucking Nazi signs and shit. And I don't really like them anyway. Not that they're really racist. They're just like,
they have to
fucking do it. It's prison, right? And so it's different rules inside than maybe in Rainbow Land out here, right? And so, but I don't want nothing to do with that because at some point I'm going to get the fuck out really soon because I'm thinking I'm still only going to do 6 months, right? I'm still convinced that they sent me here, but my sentence is going to be shorter, right? And so anyway, I have to fight these guys because I refuse to get down with them. So I don't have to fight the fucking black guys. I don't have to fight the fucking Mexicans that's about all that's in Texas prison, white, black, Mexican. Like I got to fight the white guys because every day. But I tell you what, a couple, maybe like a month into it, because I'm not going to get down. I'm not going to owe favors when I get out or do dumb shit in there. I just don't have the capacity to do any of that. And I'm willing to fight not to deal with it, which would fucking turn out to be a good idea now. Really fucking shitty idea at the time, right? But the Hispanic people fucking saved me from it. They were like, hey, you didn't snitch. Like, we got this guy's fucking paperwork. Y'all are trying to put him on. He doesn't owe anybody's money. He didn't shoot nobody's house up. He wasn't gang banging. He didn't rip no drug dealers off. I'm an integrity-driven drug dealer over here. And they left me alone, man. They let me do my fucking time, you know, in a place with murderers and crazy-ass people, man. They just let me fucking do my time. But when I got out, it's like, I ain't doing that shit again, right? So I went back to work at the car wash.
Smart, yeah. And that's exactly where you should have went.
Yeah, exactly. So I went back to work at the car wash because who else is going to hire a convict, right? But I didn't do any drugs. Worked my ass off. Man, I'm going to own this motherfucker one day. And I still am, right? I realized they just sold that location. I didn't know it was for sale or I would have bought it. But I got somebody looking into it for me now. But anyway, I want to own it. But I go to the car wash and take this job, and I'm just going to be the best car wash person there is. But one day, and this is an important lesson, like hard work may seem like it, your hard work may seem, if you're really working hard, it may seem like it's going unnoticed, but the right person will eventually notice it because hard work eventually goes unnoticed until you cannot ignore it. And I just worked so hard at this car wash that this lady, she would come in once a week and it wasn't for her. She wasn't attractive. I didn't like her. I didn't think nothing of her, but she'd watched every time as I'd worked in this place. So after a couple of months, she says, I want to give you a job. I got a job. I work here at the car wash. I'm the manager, right? And she's like, no. I want to give you a job in finance. I'd barely heard that word before. And she said mortgages. I'd never heard that word before. I'm like, what's a mortgage? She goes, like a bank, finance, blah, blah. She said a bunch of big words. I'm like, I'm out. I got like a 9th grade education and I'm a convicted felon. Like, I appreciate the sentiment, lady. But she goes, you'll be fine. We'll take you, And she convinced me she was a closer. She convinced me to lay my keys down to the car wash to the assistant manager and start work for her on Monday. That Saturday, so go to work for her on Monday. That Saturday, I'm at my friend's parents' house, and I realized that they lived there for like 20 years. It's like, you ever heard of something called a refinance? It was like a word that I heard at the office that week, right? The word of the week.
It's just like a sticky note with one word on it.
It's like,
Refinance.
word of the
just
week.
Go around and
refinance.
tell people this.
And they're like, we can't do that. We have bankruptcy, and we're not able to. And I was like, I think you can. Let me hook you up with this lady that I started working for. And they're like, weren't you washing our car last week? It's like, never mind that. Let me hook you up with this lady. Anyway, long story short, within like 3 weeks, I got like $8,300. Bro, I was fucking rich. You know what I mean? Like I'd never.
That's a lot of cars.
A lot of cars
that you would have to wash.
And 2 weeks after that, the guy that mows the yards for the car washes calls me and he says, hey, I'm buying this $700,000 house. I heard you do loans now. Can you do the loans? So I made like 20 grand off that. So like in 2 month period of time, I got like,
are buying nice properties.
Yeah, he's owned all the commercial stuff.
Solid.
So that would be like a $3 million house now. This is 2003 or 4, you know? But so now all of a sudden I got like $30,000 and I never even had anywhere near that in my life. You know, it's like, oh shit, it's game on. And it was for about 2 months till I ran out of money, right? Because you think you're going to spend it and make it forever. But I was out of what they know now as the warm market. My warm market had been exhausted. So a couple of months go by, I'd blown through the money and I didn't pay my mortgage bill and I didn't pay my truck bill. And I'm like, they're going to come fucking tow my truck. I bought a new truck and then couldn't make the payments. Like they're going to come tow my fucking truck and they're going to, oh God, I made a bunch of terrible financial decisions that any 22-year-old would make, right? Without guidance. So the cable's cut off to my house and I look up and there's a new channel coming on. That's how old I am, called CNBC. It's a brand new channel coming on and this weekend only it's free and it works on the satellite where the satellite was cut off. There's a guy named Robert Kiyosaki who is doing a Rich Dad, Poor Dad seminar this Saturday at the Hilton Hotel in Richardson, Texas, right? And
Come down to the Garden Inn.
And I'm like, you know what?
You'll get a free
I got money. I work for the bank and these guys want to buy real estate. I need to go to that shit and I need to see how that works and meet those people. That's where I'll get deals from. So that's what I did. And I go to this meeting and I'm watching them and there's like $2,500 and everybody rushes to the back of the room to buy this shit. And I ain't got $2,500, but I got an idea. Everybody that has $2,500 is probably pretty fucking serious about buying a house. I'm gonna go hang out next to that booth and I'm gonna hit these people with my business card. So everybody that came through there, I was like, hey man, you gonna go buy some houses? Yeah. Do you have a bank partner yet? No, man, I'm gonna have to find you. I got you, dog. I got you.
That's actually really smart.
And so, man, because we didn't have social media and shit back then, right? One dude, his name was Ken, sent me 54 fucking investment property refinances so that he could go buy another 60 fucking houses with the cash out of them. I did like 100 and something fucking loans in a 12-month period of time for just this one fucking guy from that one thing and made $700,000 in commissions in 2005.
Damn.
Bought my dream house. The cops thought I was selling dope and they raided that motherfucker. I shit you not. I bought all the 700 grand, dream house, live in the fucking dream neighborhood. I got realtors coming in retrospect. I got realtors coming and dropping off fucking HUDs. I got fucking renters coming in and fucking dropping off rent checks. I got people coming, and I'm partying too, you know, not drugs, but just having a good time with people my age coming over. Look like a drug dealer in retrospect. Now, if I was to do all that now, it's fine. You work from home. It's totally normal. But in 2005, 2006, that was like way ahead of its time, right? So the cops raid my house. They don't find any drugs, but they find a gun. It's not even my gun. It's my fucking roommate's gun.
And you're a felon.
But it's in my room, and there's a fucking picture of me holding the gun, which I did. There's a picture of me holding the gun for Halloween when I was dressed as a cop, just for a split second that I held on one of the fucking phones that they found when they raided the house. They fucking got me for felon in possession of a firearm, which in Texas is totally legal. I can own a gun in my house, right? Even though I'm a convicted felon. But the fucking ATF doesn't recognize that. So I beat the state case and the fucking feds picked it up. And who beats a Fed case? John Gotti? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't do that. So they're going to give me 20 years. They're going to give me fucking 20 years for a crime I didn't even fucking commit. You know what I mean? It wasn't my gun. I wasn't even home when they raided the house. I damn sure wasn't selling dope. What the fuck? Right? So get mad at God for stuff like that. You really do. You're like, times in my life where I'm like, God, why you do me like this? But I know now I wouldn't be in this seat without this story, right? So check this out. This is probably the coolest story of my life. I get my lawyer. I help get him elected to be the first district attorney that's a black guy, that's a Democrat in an all red, sorry, Dallas, in an all red, all white guy judicial system. They ended up, this guy started letting people out of prison that he knew was innocent, and they fucking end up, dude, it's a whole mess. But he's a great guy. And I helped get him elected. And he cut some strings to get my time down to 15 months. And I go to this federal prison in Seagoville, Texas for 15 months. Day 2, when I'm in this motherfucker, guess who's in front of me? The Puerto Rican mob guys that I used to sell dope for when I was 19. They're serving life sentences. And I'm like, hey, you guys remember me? It's like half-baked black ass, right? Like, you guys remember me? And he's like, nah, man, what's up with you? I was like, it's me, Breeze. That was my name back in the day on the streets. And it's like, it's me, Breeze. He's like, hey, man, I thought you cleaned up, became like a banker or some shit. It's like, I fucking did, man. You wouldn't believe this, right? But those guys were like, hey, you're a stand-up dude. You could have snitched on us. You didn't. So they order my paperwork. 2 or 3 days later, they see I'm integrity-driven fucking criminal or whatever. They send this huge Mexican dude over to my cell to come get me. And he's like, hey, you got to go upstairs and meet this guy, Wawa. What the fuck? My cellmate's like, I don't know what the fuck you did, but don't bring the shit in here. And I'm like, God damn it, man. You know? So we go upstairs. I had never been upstairs. I had a reason to go upstairs. They was living different up there, bro. They're wearing like Rolexes and wearing Air Jordans and smoking blunts and cigarettes, like fucking free world. Like
Wawa ran game.
Yeah, he's the fucking kingpin for the whole fucking prison
So
shit.
he had the block.
Yep, and this is his shit. So I get up there, and they're like, hey, white boy or whatever the fuck, right? Bolillo, hey. They said, we heard that you work in the banking system. We got 5 years left on our sentence. We've been doing 20 years, but we got a lot of money we need to clean up. You know banks. Can you help us launder the money? I'm like, what they gonna do, put us in prison? Fuck yeah, I can help you. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck these people. We're already in jail. You can't convict them for shit you did in jail. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's on you, you know? So I start showing these guys how to buy houses for cash, refinance them in their mama's name with stated income loans. That's what you could do back then. And now all of a sudden these motherfuckers get out. They ain't got to sell dope no more. That guy Wawa works for me now. He's worked for me for 8 years. He's my chief technology officer.
Stop
every web page you've ever seen on any of my shit, hardcore closer, phone sites, all that, he built that shit. That motherfucker went to prison for 17 years for 20 tons of cocaine before the fucking internet existed. And that guy can build a funnel better than Russell Brunson. I'll fucking put him up to the challenge.
Dude, I love this story.
That's what it says. Like,
dude, I had to let you just go because it was
the
just
only reason
so
he don't
good.
travel with me is he's still on parole for 2 more years, right? But I took him in the private jet to New Jersey a couple of months ago. He's like, holy shit, dude, I can't even believe that we were in prison together and now we like do these crazy things, you know? And so,
dude,
that guy's the most loyal friend I got.
I love that story.
He really is.
So
changed his life, got his gang tattoos lasered off, drives a Maserati, makes big money, owns a car dealership too, and he's my CTO. Like, dude totally changed his life from broke generational curses because his brother was executed by the state of Texas for killing a cop. His dad was violent fucking Mexican mafia. Like, this guy's broke generational fucking curses on him and his family because we just happened to run into each other in the cell block in prison, man.
So did you.
Yeah.
So did you.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, for all that shit that you went through, that all happened for you.
Yeah. Makes for a good story, you know?
Well, it's a great story, but it's more, it gives me a lot of insight on how you roll and how you're able to just move so fluidly through so many big circles and just maneuvering, making great decisions. You've been through so much.
Yeah. I made enough bad decisions that I think I know what not to decide on now. You know?
I'm going to call you Breeze from here on out. I had no idea your name was Breeze.
I have
You're
it tattooed across my back in prison. Like the first time, like I have huge tattoos across I'm like have prison tattoos all over me, but I don't walk around with my shirt off, so most people don't know it, but I have it fucking tattooed on me in prison, everything. And you know what? I've got expensive tattoos. I paid like fucking $5,000 for some fancy Russian artist to come to LA and do this shit. And this ink ain't as good as that prison ink in my back that you can't scrub out fucking 23 years later. You couldn't scrub that shit off with a Brillo pad. And we literally made it out of toilet paper, toothpaste, and a fucking Coca-Cola can that we lit on fire. That shit's permanent. It still looks brand new.
Hey, sorry for the interruption. I'm going to let you get right back to the episode. I just wanted to answer a question that I get all the time, which is where do I go to network with other high-level, like-minded individuals? Where I go is the Avengers Real Estate Mastermind. It's an experiential mastermind. There's about 175 members. They're all super high level. They're all gunning. They're all gaining skills and capabilities. Networking is off the charts. We bring in the biggest celebrities, rent out the coolest venues. We have a ton of fun. The training is off the charts. And I'm always ahead of the curve because of the members inside the Avengers. We're all collaborating and helping each other out. So if you're looking to get plugged into something super fun that's going to really lift your business up in a major way, check out joinavengersmastermind.com and watch the video that's on there, read all the information, and see if getting plugged into a mastermind would be right for you. That's joinavengersmastermind.com.
What was that lady's name that got you into the mortgages?
She passed away 4 years ago. Her name was Monica Hubbard.
We love Monica.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah, changed my life.
She was a G.
Yeah, she
I love
recognized hard work. She's like, if that motherfucker will work half as hard slinging mortgages, but that's what I did. That's why when I showed up to the mortgage office, this is what got me ahead. And I made so much money and did all these things. These guys, I didn't have the money to go in at 10 o'clock and leave at 1 o'clock and go drink with realtors all afternoon. And that's what most of these fucking guys did. They go drink with some sloppy ass realtor that wasn't doing business anyway. Because if you're drinking at 1 in the afternoon, you got no fucking business, right?
Yep.
So me, I would show up at 6:30 in the morning because that's when I went to the car wash, and I would just read underwriting guidelines like all day. I didn't know what to show. I would use Google to fucking figure out what the hell it meant, and dictionary.com back then to figure out what the hell it meant. And I would just read them. And I would just call different people, and I would just like whatever the hell. I would work from 6:30 in the morning to 6:30 in the evening because that's what I was used to at the car wash. While the rest of these guys put in 2 hours a day, I was putting in 12, you know? And then in the nighttime, I would go knock on people's doors that had their house for sale, be like, what are you going to do to get money when you move out of here? Right? And like, dude, I was just wheeling, dealing, going to once I hit that first hotel gig, shit, every time somebody came to town, whether it was fortune builders or rich dad, poor dad, or whatever the fuck, dude, I was there. I was
That's
the guy
brilliant.
outside with business cards.
We did the same thing to get cash buyers down at the foreclosure auctions.
Yep.
Just hanging out down there.
Yep.
It's just, hey, we know lenders, buyers, and I didn't have a lot of money, so I would get a white T-shirt with a Sharpie, and I would literally write on the white T-shirt from my $10 T-shirt at Walmart, I sell houses to investors, and I would just go post up down the foreclosure auction, and people come up and talk to me and be like,
What year was this?
2005.
Yeah, man, we used to do fucking crazy shit
know.
before the internet,
I
right?
know,
These,
yeah.
say it like your grandpa. These kids today, right?
They
But
don't
like,
know nothing about this hard work. Well, I mean, look,
it's still hard on the internet,
Yeah,
but man, fuck, it used to be real. Like you had to like face to face look a motherfucker in the eye and shake their hand. That's hard for a lot of people these days.
Yep. All right. So you're now in the mortgage game. How did you get out of the mortgage game? And because like you've rehabbed a bunch of houses, you flipped houses, and you're smart. Like you're a smart guy. You join masterminds, you buy proximity, you understand the value of spending money to go further faster.
Yeah.
Was it mentorship, masterminds? What got you shifted over into like the investing side of things? And then how did you actually start? I want to get to this Facebook group because I think there's a lot of people out there. Stewman makes a tremendous amount of money and creates a tremendous amount of relationships from this Facebook group. So I want to talk a little bit about that. But how did you get into the actual investing side of things?
So I was going to these seminars and doing refinances and purchase loans for people that were getting rich, making a whole bunch of money off of properties. So check this out. I went to a place it was a real estate seminar called Rapid Real Estate. Okay. And there were local guys in Dallas that were doing real estate investor meetups. And I listened to what everybody would talk about and what the problems were and where they were having problems. And so I knew how to negotiate with builders because a friend of mine was a builder, and I'd worked in that field during the summers when I was a kid, and I knew some shit about it. So I went and talked to like D.R. Horton before they were publicly traded, Pulte before they were publicly traded. This was back then, right? And I would say, give me a list, Mercedes homes, big homes like that. I would say, give me a list of the leftover homes in your neighborhood that you can't sell. And I'll buy them all from you so that you can close out and get your money on the development, shit like that. So then I would show up at these investor meetings with the one thing none of them had, homes that will only get worth more because the cheapest you'll ever buy a home is when you're the person that builds it. You know what I mean? The house never fucking is less than when you're the person that builds it, right? So I showed up with the cheapest real estate that you could possibly get your hands on, that you didn't need a warranty, that you didn't need to rehab, that wasn't going to get fucked up. It was all brand new. And if something went wrong, you got at least 1 year with the builder to get it fixed and shit like that. Worry-free
brilliant.
property. $10 bands of fucking property, right? I would negotiate. You would get it from D.R. Horton would normally sell it back then for, let's say, 160. I would get it for like 130, and then I would charge you 140. You still got instant equity. I made my 10 to fucking do a double close, and I would do 40 or 50 of those motherfuckers a month because I had Busher, Beezer, fucking D.R. Horton, Pulte, and I knew fucking investors from California to fucking Oklahoma that they were just buying these houses that back then were 140, 150 grand that now are $700,000-$800,000, those same ones. I drove day before yesterday, I was driving through to go meet one of my friends, and I was like, man, I sold houses over here for 300 grand and thought Ryan Roberts was fucking stupid for spending 300 grand on it. You can't get in that neighborhood for less than $1 million now, fucking 15 years later.
Yep.
You know, it's like fucking crazy. So that's what I'm doing. I got into, because of that, I'm doing the loans on them. So I'm getting the loans on the back end. After I flip you the house as the investor, now I'm doing the loan too. So I'm making double dipping. Go to prison, federal prison, get out, get back in the mortgage industry, right? And there's a whole long story there, but we don't have the time. Get back in the mortgage industry, fucking kill it. While things are falling apart and the end of the world and the mortgage meltdown.
2008, 9, 10.
Yep. In 2009, I'm killing it. I'm making 300 grand a year at a W-2 job, fresh out of fucking federal prison with no pipeline, working for TexasLending.com.
So is that your third prison stint?
No, 2. So
Two.
first time,
Got
get
it.
out, go to the car wash, get
got it.
arrested and get out. So I've only been twice. Thank God. Only going twice. And so get out, go work, successful again in the mortgage industry. And one of the worst times to be that way, March of 2010, Dodd-Frank goes into effect and they say, hey, felons can no longer write loans. Fuck, I only know how to do 3 things. Sell dope. I failed at that. Fucking work at a car wash. That sucks. And now mortgages, I can't do them. And so people, again, I'm an integrity person. So people would say, well, we'll pay you on the back end and give you this. And I was like, man, I don't want to fucking get in trouble because I know how it works. Some shit gets fucked up.
Yep.
I'll be the first person that you blame. And they're going to go, it has to be the guy with 2 felonies. It couldn't be fucking Cody who's never been in trouble, right? Like, no, Cody's fucking, but I know how that game works, So I bowed out. I called my real estate friend, Mike Reese. You know Reese. I called Mike Reese because I did his loans. That's how fucking OG we are. I was their actual lender, him and Jay's lender. I called Mike and I was going to ask him for a job. I said, Mike, we sat down for lunch and we talked. Before I could ask him for a job, he said, man, I heard you lost your job at the mortgage place. I was like, oh, he's going to ask me for a job. That's awesome, right? He goes, I bought these DVDs for $8,000 that show you how to do stuff on the internet. You should check it out. Now, Mike, good friend of mine, cheapest motherfucker I know. The fact when he said I bought DVDs for $8 grand, which turned out later Jay Kinder bought those DVDs for $8 grand. But if Mike would have told me that, I would have never watched them. But I thought whatever got $8 grand from Mike's fucking serious.
Yeah.
So I went home that night. It was Ryan Dice Continuity Blueprint.
Oh.
Taught me how to upload a WordPress thing. And so I uploaded this energy drink, kind of like Snap, right?
Yep.
And this energy drink into the WordPress and did it just like Ryan taught in the thing. And at like 2 a.m, a couple days later, I made a sell. It's like $10 sell or whatever. It was like, this fucking internet thing's real.
Yeah,
If I
it
can
was
do
real.
it once, I can do it a minute. This is just like when I refinanced my friend's parents' house. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like a lot less money. But I called the guy, hey, how'd you find it? Blah, blah, blah. And he said, I found it from your post on Facebook. And I thought, man, there's something about this Facebook thing. Remember back then, nobody was really on it. I said, man, all right. So I start really buying into Facebook and training loan officers how to do what I did. So that's all I knew. It was like, hey, if you're a loan officer, I'll teach you how to do mortgages. I can't compete against you like the rest of the coaches out there, and I'll just help you out. And I did that for the first 3 years. And then the reason why, and you said outgrown the hardcore closer, I was never like the sales guy. I have some sales program because people kept asking me for it. So I'm like, yeah, fuck, you might as well sell it to you, But I don't look at the hardcore closer name as like somebody who's a salesperson. I'm closing deals, man. I'm a hardcore individual, period, but I'm closing deals. I'm closing deals on restaurants, deals on watches, deals on cars. That's what I'm constantly fucking doing. But everybody that comes in my path enjoys the shit that I'm closing them on. I was telling you, I was talking to Wags. Wags like, man, you sold me this watch for 90 grand that someone just offered me $150,000 for. It's like, he's not like, oh, the closer got me. He's like, fuck, dude, what else can I buy from you?
Yeah. I should have bought that watch.
You were close.
I was like
close
5
because
or 8
my guy wouldn't give you enough for that one.
I was like $4 grand off,
Yeah.
literally. And I regret it, but that's all right.
I should have kept it. Fuck, if I didn't know it was going to be worth another
no shit.
50 grand, I wouldn't have sold it to either one of you.
Do you think you're born a hustler or can you become a hustler?
I think that's natural born shit. As many people as I have hired and fired over the years, you either got that shit or you don't. Now, you can tell when somebody has it. You can coach them and refine them to get good at it. But like my video guy, Tyler, he's got it. You know what I mean? And I knew instantly when I see him, I was like, hey man, he may suck at video, but he doesn't, but he may suck at video, but he'll figure that out. But this guy's got the hustle. He makes shit happen, you know? And
I wonder if my new videographer, Ben, has it.
We're watching you now, Ben. We're watching you.
We'll see. We're just staring awkwardly at Ben.
Ben
just turned 21.
Very uncomfortable. He's like, I belong behind the camera. Please do not put me in front of it.
I don't know, man. I think he's got a little hustle in him, dude. He's got it.
You have to see. Let me teach you something real quick. See, if you're going to be around him, that's what I told Tyler when he came to work for me. And Tyler's got FYE on his neck and shit now too, right? So, but here's the thing: is like, you're going to be around him all the time. So you have to be the best representation. When I meet you, I have to think fucking you're a representation and a reflection of Cody. So when I meet you or Dan or all these famous people that you're going to run across as you're doing video for him, you need to be the best. Like if you look bad, he looks bad because you're the person that's closer to him, probably more than his wife, because y'all are on the road, y'all are talking and strategizing and working together. So it's the same thing. When we get off of Terry's jet, like we don't let the pilots and the people clean the jet. Tyler stands up immediately. My video guy cleans the whole fucking jet. Hey, give me your trash. Give me your trash. Comes around like a fucking stewardess and shit because he's a hustler. He knows like that's my pass of getting on these jets, taking pictures, videos, and fucking picking up trash. Or you would have me flag fucking commercial if I wasn't adding any value. But what I'm saying is people look at me all the time. They're like, dude, your crew works hard. That means you must work hard. Well, fuck yeah, I do. Because if he didn't pick it up, I would have, and he knows that, right?
I love that. I'm going to bring you around with me for all of training all my people.
Yeah. That's kind of what I do sometimes.
Yeah. If I would have said that to him, he'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
But because you did it, now he'll remember.
Third party validation, social proof.
Yeah, dude, it's great. A lot of people that are going to be watching this are entrepreneur minded with the hope of making a lot of money as an entrepreneur so they can invest it, right?
Yep.
The whole end game is just financial literacy and just total money game domination. So, what did you do with the Facebook group that made it so successful? Because I started a Facebook group and it sucks. You know, it's always a problem when your Facebook group sucks and I'm staring at yours and I'm like, fuck, yours is actually like popping. Well, I want to get into that club.
My wife is a gardener and the best grass grows in our yard or flowers where she puts the most time. And that's what we've done with Facebook. We made a commitment in 2015 to go all the way in with Facebook groups. Nobody else was doing it. It's just like when we started with Facebook, everybody's like, Facebook, that's crazy. When we started with Facebook, I have been using them for a while, but when we went like, we're going to lean all the way in and be the best at this, right? And so what we did was first, I thought, if you could go look, if I could show you with a Zoom or something, I failed with hundreds of groups. I tried the hardcore closers group. I tried the closers group. I tried sales success group. I tried all these different groups that didn't work. And I've studied a lot over the years why this particular one stuck. And rule number one, when you're starting a group, if you really want to build a culture like we have, is name it something that when a person becomes a member of it, it gives them a cool name. For example, when you join my group, you are a sales pro. Right, which is an esteemed name to have. And it's a good name. It's not a bad name. Like closer can maybe have a negative connotation to it because like that guy closed me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where sales pro has a good, neurolinguistically programmed language for people to say, oh yeah, I'm a sales pro. And that's what people do say now. They don't say, hey, I'm a member of Sales Talk. They say I'm a sales pro. Like that's their identity in there. So that's number one. Number two is we created a culture in there. And one of the ways that you create a culture is to have your own language. And what I mean by is like if you're a Christian, you have your own language. That's a culture. If you're a lender, right, or you work in the mortgages, you have your own language. LTV, DTI, things like that, right? That's your own specific language. In real estate, same thing. You got a 2006, you got a contract, you got deed for trust, and all these things that you have in real estate as well. And it's your own language. So we created our own language so that you're a part of that and you speak our language, right? It's almost like a clubhouse.
Give me some examples.
Kangaroo. Right? So a kangaroo is a motherfucking prospect that won't buy shit from you because their arms are too short to reach in their back pocket where their wallet is, but they're just long enough to put all the free shit you'll give them in their pouch in the front, right? So it's like...
I like that.
So people will make a post and it'll be like, this kangaroo ass motherfucker came in my office today, right?
And everybody knows what it is.
And the new people be like, what the fuck is a kangaroo? And the old people get because it's funny, right? And the old people get the oh, let me tell you,
Yeah, that's cool.
Another one is let's see. So we got kangaroo. Another one's the force of average, right? So a salesperson will have a good month and then a bad month oftentimes because they were busy. So we call that the force of average, like going up and down. We don't say sales, S-A-L-E-S. We usually spell it S-A-I-L-S, which drives everybody crazy. Like I work in sales, like you're in a boat, you know, drives new members crazy.
I like that.
Like
So the first one was
the name that you can be proud of.
Name that you can be proud of. Second one is create a language.
A language, yep.
Right? Which is really creating a culture.
Yep. The third one is you have to engage in the group. So here's where most people think in this is what makes or breaks a group, maybe where you fail. Most people think, and before I say this, I just want to preface this with, I don't know a motherfucker better at this shit than I am, right? Like I think I am the foremost #1 fucking expert at this shit, right? Because I've never met anybody that's more prolific than we are. So when I say this, like whatever you think, you're wrong. I'm right. When you go into a group, the average thinker goes and says, I'm going to make a post to get attention in this group, right? So they go into a group, they join the Clever Investor group, and they're like, I flip houses too, and I have a Lamborghini, and I'm awesome, right? And they're like, oh, people will notice me because of this post. Or they think, I'll go in and ask everybody, what books are you reading lately? And they'll engage with that, right? That's not the case. What works best for you as a community member, and what worked well to grow this in the beginning as an admin, is I would look for posts that already had engagement on them, and I would go fucking talk to people in the comments. So if I have a post with 20 people that are commenting on it, and I go and I reply to 2 or 3 of those people, the next time those people comment or they post, or the next time I comment or post, they're going to get notifications because of the algorithm. So if I do this for a couple weeks in a group and get to know people that way, and I finally do make a post, 20 or 30 people will start commenting on my post, and I'll get a whole fucking lot more attention. And now all of a sudden, look at me, this is my group. Right. And I start building shit. So we did that same thing in our group. So instead of me going in there and being the guy to post and try to get attention every day, you go in there and nobody knows who you are, and you make a post, and all of a sudden Ryan Stewman's giving you fucking advice, good advice on whatever shit that you were asking.
Love this, dude.
The next step after that was we moderate it. So there's no spam. Every post gets approved by us. So we read every post that goes in. There's like 10 admins now. There wasn't before, but now there is. And we read every post before we approve it, because we think, hey, if we were scrolling through here, would we want to see this shit? If we don't want to see it, we don't fuck. If it's mildly not entertaining, pitching, or mildly fucking spammy, anything, we just don't do it, right? Yeah. Because we want people to go, when I go to that group, it's always good content, you know? ABC just doesn't, or Netflix just doesn't let any fucking video get on their platform. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people pitching shit to them that they're like, I don't think so, you know? Same with our group. And it's not it doesn't mean just because maybe we didn't approve your post today that maybe you don't get your post approved tomorrow that's better, or whatever the case is.
That one wasn't it.
That wasn't it. You know what I mean? Nobody liked that song, homie.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's phenomenal advice, especially the commenting. Just go for a couple weeks hard on the comments, add as much value, and then when you finally post, boom, all of a sudden the algorithm shows a little love to you. The people recognize you. It's like, hey, I invited you to my birthday party. Now you're going to invite me to yours. So it's that reciprocity power.
Yep, it really is. Think of it this way. So if we're here at a mastermind, and they're in a room with a mastermind, a networking cocktail hour, whatever. There's a group of 4 or 5 people over here, a group of 4 or 5 people over here, a group of 4 or 5 people over here, and they're having conversations. The equivalent of me showing up in a Facebook group would be me to walk in the middle of the room where all those conversations, and then just start talking, hoping they fucking walk over, right? Instead, you would do what any logical human would do. You'd go to group number 1, you'd listen for a minute. Oh, by the way, I'm Ryan. Nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. And by the way, what you were saying here, let me add that to it. I think this will help you. Talk to them for a minute, blah, blah. I'm going to go say hello to group number 2 over here.
Makes sense.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's what we do in real life. When you mirror real life, like real life, good social habits in real life on social media, you can't fucking lose.
Top 3 things. If I'm a young gunner, I'm finally making a little bit of dough. Top 3 things I should be focusing on, like to invest my money.
First of all, you need to be buying crypto. And anytime you convert cash to crypto, you should say goodbye to that cash, and it should be crypto for forever. But you should be buying Ethereum, Bitcoin, big coins. And yes, they're going to go up and down. But I'm not telling you to flip and sell. I'm telling you just have it in your portfolio. It's just like a rent property. Rent never goes down. The housing market may fucking crash, but rent never fucking goes down. Never in the history of renting rent has a motherfucking landlord knocked on a door and been like, surprise, motherfucker, rent is going down. So real estate is obviously a good one to own as well. And you can buy a duplex with an FHA loan with 3.5% down for, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. You might live in LA and you're like, where the fuck am I gonna buy something for $300,000? Well, Ohio, And you don't have to fucking
Tennessee.
live there. Yeah, Tennessee. You don't have to fucking live in that place. I once bought a house in Ohio for $1,000 and sold it for 30 days later. $30,000, 29 profit. Who'd have thought you could buy a house for $1,000 bucks?
Dude, you want to hear something great?
Yes.
When everything crashed in 2010, a lady in Detroit paid me $3,000 to take her property.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
It's crazy shit,
And I
right?
actually thought it was a good deal. I thought it was brilliant, but the taxes that I had to pay to get the fuck out of that thing,
Yeah.
and nobody would buy it from me. So
Yep.
she basically was like, "Here, dumb motherfucker."
Yeah.
I'm like the clever non-investor because she's like,
It's your
"Here."
tax problem now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's your fucking problem. But all right, so crypto,
Real estate.
real estate.
And I believe that you should buy stocks. You know, here's why. Because one of my rules for money is never work for the same dollar twice. So if I have a job, which I do, and I have a W-2 income of $50,000 a month, that covers all my bills and anything that I need. I live on $52,000 tax, which is like $32,000 and when it's all said and done, that I live on every single month, right? Anything above and beyond that money, I am investing, right? So I obviously make more than $32,000 a month. So all that extra money that I don't need to live on, I am investing. You should, the same thing. You should have a budget set for yourself, and then you should fucking every other thing, but it shouldn't be, and I know Cody may, if flipping houses is your full-time job, cool. But I don't think it should be a part-time job. You should buy a house and have a property manager rent the motherfucker out. You should be hands-off and keep focused on that thing that's bringing money in. Because so many people will make money from their main job, and then they'll go flip a house, and that house is taking away time, talent, and focus from their main job, which got them the money to flip that house anyway. And you're like, oh yeah, but I made 20 grand when I flipped this house. Yeah, but it took you fucking 9 months, and you have $150,000 a year fucking job. The math is off, right? You invested your time in the wrong place. So I always say never work for the same dollar twice. Keep your main thing, and all the extra money needs to go into passive shit that either someone, it doesn't mean you can't own the business, but you need an operator running it, not you, so that you can maintain whatever it is that's coming in.
I love it, dude. You filleted this show,
fillet.
dude. You filleted it. Breeze.
With the Ginsus.
Breeze came with the full-blown gust.
That's funny, man.
I don't know. It sounded better in my mind when I said gust. It wasn't that funny. All right, dude. How do they follow you on social medias?
So if it doesn't have a blue check, it's not me. So there's lots of imposters and shit out there. I don't know why the fuck we can't do anything about them, but at Hardcore Closer on Instagram, the one with the blue check. There's other ones out there, but just the one with the check. And then Real Ryan Stewman on Facebook. Again, blue check. Those are really the only two places I am. You can join our Facebook group, Sales Talk with Sales Pros. On Facebook, there's, like I said, 110,000 people in there. Just make sure you answer all the questions and stuff on the pop-up, or they will not let you in. And there's by the way, we use this little cool tool from my client, Arnie Gisk, that is called Group Funnels. And everybody that goes in there, it says, what's your email address to be able to join the thing? Prove you're real. What's your email address? We have before we let people in there, we run this tool, and it scrapes all those fucking email addresses and puts them on a spreadsheet and uploads them into our system. So we're also creating that as an opt-in as they get in our group too. 110,000 fucking email addresses strong, sir.
Damn, that's cool.
Yep.
And you also have a cool tool. We didn't get into it on this show. Maybe next time. It's called Phone Sites. If Ryan is also one of the best direct response marketers in the game. Has done just a tremendous amount of digital sales. So if you have a business where you're trying to sell something digitally, check out Phone Sites. They just go to what? Phonesites.com?
Phonesites.com.
Phonesites.com. Yeah. And it's, and how much is it?
$49. So my software will make a website, write fucking copy for you, everything that you need done. It will pretty much automate the whole process right in front of your eyes. $49 a month.
Love it. Yeah. So great tool. Lots of testimonials. People love Phonesites.com.
10,000 users can't be wrong.
I love it. All right, man. Thank you for hanging out with us. If you liked this, go follow Ryan. And obviously, anything that I can put in the video descriptions or any of the download links for anything we talked about will be down in the descriptions down below. Appreciate you. And that's all we got for this one.
Play the jingle.
Well, we sign off every single time saying the same damn thing.
Oh,
I
okay.
just say, man, appreciate you guys. Until next time, Cody Sperber, the Clever Investor, signing off for now. Take care. Comb your hair. We out.
Hey, thanks for being a subscriber of the Clever Investor Show. As a thank you gift, we wanted to give you something that we know is going to help you get started as a creative real estate investor. It's our Real Estate Success Kit, and it's completely free. Just go to www.reisuccesskit.com to customize your kit, but essentially it's a collection of 15 training tools designed to help you get results quickly as a creative real estate investor. From systems to lead generation to finding cash buyers to creative ways to close deals and get paid. Your free REI Success Kit is just a few clicks away. Once again, the website's www.reisuccesskit.com.